Hey Taurus, how are you doing? We're going to dive into your energy today, okay? And first and foremost, I just want to ask you, how are you? How are you coping? You have indeed been the Zodiac under attack on my platform. And I'll own it, you've been under attack by me. The last couple of readings, I've been kicking Taurus ass. I've pulled up to Taurus energy and I've just been licking off shot after shot after shot after shot because the vibration hasn't been right. We've seen cheating, affairs, money issues. I'm a channel, right? This is my channel. I am the Hermitologist, a clairvoyant intuitive reader. I channel live with you using tarot, and sometimes I get sucked into the vibration and I can't tell if it's a cross-watcher, the viewer. It's a combination of my personal feelings and my clairsenses, but I go off. I love what I do. I love these readings. I love being a channel. I love being gifted. And I love the fact that I'm so confident enough to come here and be so me with you. And I also have to remember that you are being so you with me. So this is a connection that we now share. We have openly opened up and become one with each other's energy for this reading. Hit like and subscribe if you genuinely understand that. Feel free to share more about you in the comments. Yeah? Sometimes I kick ass in these readings because that is the way, period. I'm not going to go on and on about it, actually. Sometimes positive psychology and human flourishing looks like a kick up the arse. Yeah? And I say that with a little pride and arrogance in my vibration today, because I'm with you and you are showing up with the 10 of Pentacles followed by the 8 of Wands. And in the back of the mind, you got the 8 of Pentacles, and in the front of the mind, you got the 8 of Swords. So straight away, I know that this is working. Yeah? Whatever you've been doing, the approach that I've been taking, this is about me and you. So I like to think that my Taurus readings on the channel, they create collective momentum, and we're building up some kind of feng shui through the tarot art form, and we're synergizing and we're becoming avatarian, and we're creating our own flow state like Aang and the last Airbender, the Avatar, and we're creating that orb of light for the whole of the Taurus collective. That's what we do here. Yeah? If you're about that life, hit subscribe. Big up the Taurus collective in the comments. With that energy, 10 of Pentacles straight out, and it came out 10 of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles, 8 of Wands. But I felt guided to put the 8 of Wands on top of the 10 of Pentacles and put the 8 of Pentacles in the back of the mind. Because I got shown you're working incredibly hard on your money. And you're talking about it now. You're actively doing it now. You're actively making the change now. Whatever's happened, you were in a sticky situation over the last 3 weeks specifically, I want to say. You were getting out of hell. Feel free to go over to her 7D Consciousness channel. I have a reading out there called Escaping Hell. The thumbnail has a little devil avatar image on it. And it's like Escaping Hell. Really intensive piece of content I've done, first of its kind over there, a lot more coming out. It's about 40 minutes or so, kick back, relax with some nice melodic music, a little bit of a meditative psychological conversation, really mindful talks about what it means to be trapped in hell in the mind. Yeah, I see you coming out of that. I see you in hell over money. I want to say hell over high water. I see a lot of struggles in relationships. I see a lot of discipline. You could have went off and started to practice a new spiritual discipline in order to survive this. I see that you're still really, really trapped in fear. With the 8 of Swords in the front of the mind, we're going to look at that today. Hopefully by the end of this reading, we'll break through that, okay? So the mission today, by the end of this tarot reading, is to get that trapped fear, anxious vibration away from you. The first thing I would like to recommend for you is go over to my boy John Moyer and dive into his anxiety pieces over there. John Moyer is actually my favorite guided meditation channel. I've used him for a really, really long time, and he's got me out of some really sticky situations psychologically. So I would always recommend his approaches and content. And actually, spoiler alert, he recently just dropped some quantum leap, paradigm shifting content. Haven't seen anyone else do it like that yet. And he dropped a 8-hour sleep, shifting paradigms to your new reality, quantum leaping into the life that you want, or the reality that's of your most high. And I was like, that's my boy John Moyer. He knows what I need. That's where I'm at. As a 7D'er, this channel is a massive advocacy platform for 7D. Her 7D Consciousness is my other channel. That is where we actually do that's the nuts and bolts of healing over there. But this is the tarot story here, where we just dive into your life, see what the hell's going on through the symbolism. This is the Carl Jung psychological department. Over on the Her 7D Consciousness, that's the actual deep inner shamanic work that we actually need to do to make that shit happen and change what we've discovered about our lives from over here, you know. Either way, we are deep diving into the 7D, because it's one thing to be spiritual, it's one thing to see, it's one thing to know, it's one thing to feel, it's one thing to plan, it's one thing to manifest, wish, dream, desire, it's another thing to do, yeah? Two very different actions. It's giving me nouns and doing words, verbs, yeah? You've actually got to do the damn thing. You can know about it all your life. So many people know things. So lovely that you know things. But do you do things? Because you can know all day. But that knowing don't go nowhere, because knowing is not doing. Please be a doing word. Yeah? And that's what I see with you. That's why the energy's so nice. And that's why I came in really quite serene and apologetic and light today, because I was like, do you know what? I can chill on Taurus this week. This reading I can chill. Because you're doing things. And that is a vibe. Yeah? In the past, King of Cups. King of Cups shows me real emotional depth. Now, I want to say how beautiful your emotional terrain has been of late. I want to big you up and give you a lot of props. I don't think you feel like you deserve it. And that's why I'm going to do it, because I like when people are humble and people don't really acknowledge an element of their excellence. That's what I do like. So you're busy over here thinking that your money's what's going to make you shine, and you acting super smart is what's going to make you really, really cool and seen by others, and getting over this grief, because bottom of the deck's 5 of Cups, is what's going to make you be appealing to another person or your new world. But the truth of the matter is the King of Cups in your past is your biggest asset. Because what it does show me about your personality and character is how humbly and gracefully you've worked through this. Yeah? Whether you've cried, whether you've been broken, like there's always these misconceptions about the right way of behaving and the right way of doing. The divine is giving me, you couldn't have done it better if you tried. Yeah? You couldn't have done it better if you tried. So the way that things have played out, the way that things have panned out, every little thing that has happened here, you couldn't have done it better if you tried. Because that's your capacity, yeah? That's your ability. That's your moral compass. That's your mental health. That's your emotional well-being. You've done you. And that's all God ever wants from us, you to do you. And you've done that in such a intelligent, integrous way. And emotionally, you're rich. I want to say you are the most emotionally rich Zodiac I've seen to date on the channel. And I'm now inspired to put out some kind of emotionally rich healing content on Her 7D. So hit like and subscribe over there, or hit the bell and subscribe over there, because we're going to do something for the emotionally intelligently rich over there. I do spoken word, therapy, talking pieces, a range of stuff over there. Fun times for the spiritual nerd. Future, 10 of Cups. On top of the 8 of Cups. It's interestingly positioned because I've got 2 stories coming out to me straight away. Not only do I see you leaving a life behind, a family behind, loved ones behind, a life that was it for you, potentially even a family home behind. But I see you moving on, and I see you moving on to a new life, like a new love, a new family. It hasn't got to be romantic. Like, I want to strip all stereotypes of what that looks like away, because it's just simply beautifully, emotionally healing and pure. And I see two women here. I see a Queen of Pentacles and a Queen of Cups. If I was just going straight off the top of the dome, I would say you're leaving a family connection for two women. So you could be dating multiple people now. You could decide to be polyamorous. I could be connecting with someone who has decided to get a divorce and become Neo. Neo's got 3 girlfriends at this time, and they're all flexing on Instagram. He loves his life. And he said, yeah, marriage isn't for me. I just can't do it. I want loads of women, and they want me. And that's the life that he's chosen. And or you could be transitioning. You could be going through a non-binary transgender phase. You could be moving towards a man or a woman. Yeah, this could be a same-sex relationship here. You could have been resisting for a long time the opposite sex, I wanted to say, or the same sex. This could be somebody who's been gay and suddenly now wants a woman. Gives me a little bit of Jojo Siwa deciding she's not a lesbian anymore, you know? Interesting energy coming out, guys. Either way, because we're looking at the King of Cups, the King of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Queen of Cups all up in this spread, we're talking about masculine and feminine energy, but in a really, really fluid sense. Because like I said, the 10 of Cups is on top of the 8 of Cups, and it's still a little bit behind the 8 of Cups. Someone's walking away from a stereotypical idea of fulfillment, an ideology and a philosophy of what works, what wins, what a happy home is, what true love is. A lot of stereotypes of who we should be dating, who we should be with, what kind of love language is right for us, what our family and friends, our parents have done, or what they would like to see us, what they would like to see for us, who they would like to see us with. God forbid we stay stuck to what our friends and family want for us. Because if we did, we probably wouldn't have anything worth having. Of course, no offense to anyone who has easier families to deal with than clearly mine and yours, because I'm clearly talking to someone who gets the family ideology. If you're walking away from 10 of Cups, that's family. That could be your mum, your brother, your sister, your immediate, grandparent, whoever you live with. Some people live with an army, my goodness. Some people got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 generations in one house nowadays. Everyone just goes off and gets a massive fucking house and floods it with a whole family, and you have no personal space, and you become one kind of, I wanted to say, a clergy of communism based on your family's lineage, and you're all cursed by that same ideology and output that the matriarch of the house demands from you, when that's not even what you want. Do you get what I mean? Connecting with someone who's living a very stereotypical life, and it's like, how do you get a lover and bring someone into this kind of world when you have to live this stereotypical kind of life, or your beliefs are outdated or governed by your parents? It's like a mummy's boy or a daddy's girl, and there's always that expectation for your lover to be this way or that way, or your parent wouldn't approve. And then it's just like, your parents got their life and you've got yours. And it gets, I don't want to be rude, but it gets really ancestral curse heavy when a unique individual doesn't understand that they are separate. I don't care if it's your mum or your dad or your husband or your wife or your lover and your brother and your best friend. You came out of the womb alone. You're a unique individual. God made you to be you. Your mum doesn't listen to every word you say and live by your psalms, by your scripture. Nor does your dad. Nor should your husband or your wife. Everyone has their own legacy. Everyone has their own destiny. Everyone has their own prophecy, their own foresight, their own vision, their own belief system. They should. And what's beautiful is when people can come together and synergize those beliefs and grow and develop in union and unify through this understanding. But that should never be a conformist ideology or tendency that you exude just because. Most people live a life of emptiness and nothingness and stay in the muggle status quo reality because they never even tried to see them beyond the other, beyond the mother that told them who they were and the dad that told them who they were. Psyops, classical conditioning, programming. One of the greatest quotes I heard earlier this year was, "We were all put on this planet to untrain ourselves from the programs our parents trained us with." When we were born, our parents had to train us. They did the best they could with what they knew back then. The moment we are old enough, mature enough, strong enough, wise enough, independent enough, stable enough, we must take the reins back. And we must now begin to reprogram ourselves based on who we have discovered ourselves to be. Without that, we are nothing. We are less. We are mirrors. We are mimics. We are carbon copies of the other. Your awakening is seeing through that. Your awakening is going, I know what 10 of Pentacles should be for me. Not for my mum, not for my brother, not for my lineage. I want to break ancestral curses. I don't want to be limited and stuck. If you haven't listened to my awakening and ancestral curse removal piece, I dive into my whole life for about an hour. It was the most healing experience I had, and it was a channel message that came through after connecting with my dad in spirit and my nan in spirit and my great nan in spirit. They all came through, and I spoke about how my dad died of a heroin overdose 5 days after my nan's funeral, and how I've really been struggling to see him come through from the other side. And I spoke about the trauma it was leaving me with to avoid engaging with him, just like I avoided him in the physical at times before he passed. I went ham on it, and I spoke about what it meant to be biracial for him as a mixed race man, but what it meant for me to be a quarter caste child who has only white family on my dad's side, and my dad was in prison and not really present in my life, and me predominantly raised by my Jamaican family, but a strong influence from my Jamaican grandparents who took a lot of the slack when my parent was acting slack, or when my parents were acting slack. So it really dives into my growth and why on earth I am the way I am today. And it healed me to have that conversation. So I hope that it provides healing for the listener as well, and that you see yourself and your own journey in those stories, you know. King of Wands coming out here with you, and the 7 of Wands, yeah. It talks to me how much you've resisted this moment in your life. If you're biracial, even more significance for you as well, yeah? What it means to be mixed race, really significant showing up in these cards. Because with the King of Wands and the 7 of Wands, it really, even if you're not mixed race and you're black or you're white, it's significant for every race. Because it talks about the stereotypes that black people put on a mixed race person, and the stereotypes that white people put on a mixed race person. Conversations were fascinating. So regardless of your race, dive into that. Really educational, I think, to understand other people's perspective and hopefully reduce racism and stereotypes. But I'm looking at a King of Wands who felt like they had to be a certain way. And it looks like, male or female, you repeatedly resisted being the deep emotional version of you. Yeah, because you didn't want to be seen as the stereotype or that way inclined. So you shun and denounce some of the most beautiful qualities about you. The most beautiful qualities that you exude. you don't share because they are so passively received by your parents or other loved ones that you're made to feel like they're not worth showing, or they're so stereotypical for your gender, your race, your skin color, your stereotype. Showing that side of you would be humiliating, or I keep getting the word even. It would make things even, or it would make things uneven. I'm connecting with a sibling energy or a liar energy. Now I'm getting told that there's somebody significant in your past who would frequently lie or compete or be combative with you when it just showed up as and demonstrated the King of Cups. So you showed up as the King of Wands, and the King of Wands is fancy and stylish and attractive and really, really good looking and really resistant to anyone coming at you. So you could be really, really flexing in love, flexing in business, flexing in family, flexing in career, really showing up as this really gorgeous, flexible, easygoing, loving person, whilst your emotions were kind of swept under the rug and really not shown. And because of that, you've had to work even harder, because you've had to work harder to put up a front and make out like you're this kind of person when you're not, because you're so much more vulnerable than this. I think this is the first time Taurus is showing up on my channel energetically as genuinely pure. You're I think you're tired. I think you're incredibly tired of being anything other than the purest version of you. And we don't know what that looks like until we realize we're unpure. And pure is quite a harsh word. But when I say that, it's about stripping back those layers of the onion. You pull back one layer and this is me. And a week later, the next few minutes, there's another layer, this is me. Another layer, this is me. Because you're the King of Wands, right? So every time you transform, this is me. But then there's another layer. You are the Russian doll that does not stop Russianing. Yeah? It gives me Russian roulette. It's like some people maybe never know what they're going to get with you. Because I'm getting Russian doll, but then I'm getting Russian roulette, so it's spinning. You could be into casino and gambling, but it also gives me, you're always spinning the wheel and taking a risk with your identity, with your games, with your development, with your life. But a lot of that seems to be evaded. You evade sharing that. You evade the light when you're really in it. It gives me someone, once again, I'm getting that coming out queer, non-binary energy, because it's like someone who could be trans, who in your bedroom, you do your full face makeup, wig, lipstick, fake boobs, fake butt, sexy dress, everything you need for silhouette, and you walk around the house looking sexier than most women. Hot as fuck. And then you have a little fun, take it all off and go back to your normal, everyday, masculine appearance. But either or, because you could flip this script and this could be a feminine. Or it could be you go home and watch a whole load of porn. Same-sex porn. And then you go out and swipe through the app and then pick up opposite sex to date. Do you get what I mean? It shows there's a big part of who you are and what really, really fulfills you that's hidden from the world. Yet it's the most beautiful part of you. That's why I stand for trans, and I really advocate for non-binary and trans, because it's beautiful to be you. And I know what it feels like to be who you are, and there's nothing more beautiful in a vibration when someone is who they are. Clairvoyance, we see. We read energy, we feel auras, you know. And we are quite bougie with it, because and rude with it sometimes, because we feel and we sense, you know. And there's nothing more attractive, nothing more sexy when you pull up to someone else and their internals are clean. Their internals are pure. Their auras really aligned to who they are on the outside. There's nothing more attractive than that. Nothing. Yeah? They say beauty is skin deep, right? It really is the beauty that you carry inside and how you openly over time let that exude outwards and consume you. There's nothing more beautiful than a person who is truly who they are inside and out. And they have the most privilege in life, in my opinion, because there is no airs and graces, there is no mask on or mask off, there is no delusion and confusion. The world may perceive them to be that way because it takes a real confident person not to be timid, to really show up and own every aspect of them. Once again, why I love trans, because it ain't easy to show up like that. Ain't easy to pull up and go, fuck it, this is who I am. And these are my pronouns now. And they're like, you're a man, you're a woman, here, you're nasty, you're sick, you must be mentally ill. There's always some bullshit that someone's got to say in a negative way. And that's the 8 of Swords in the front of your mind. I'm using the harshest example I can because trans are the most hated group in the world at this point because of their unique identity choices and the way in which they're living. So that's the example we use, but there's something here for you in relation to 8 of Swords. And that feeling of not fitting in. And I say the most hated group, but I say that loosely because I wouldn't want to hurt anyone who is trans if you are listening and you're on your way to coming out and I just hit you with a rotten tomato again. I'm so sorry. You've got enough pain and trauma. You don't need to be anxious and fearful of that. Blacks are hated too. Don't worry. Whites are hated too. Don't worry. We've got pro-white and pro-black going bananas over here. There's Democrats are hated. Republicans are hated. Everybody hates everyone when they get a chance to scream and choose a group to fight against. So don't worry. There's always going to be opposition. But that's why it's so beautiful to take time and work on you and really find you. Make sure you surround yourself with people that lift you up. Yeah? People that value you, people that are not going to judge you. You need safe spaces. So make sure you find the safe spaces for you to be you, to love on you. Make sure you listen to positive affirmations. Make sure you keep your vibration high. And make sure you stay away from anyone who was a massive blockage to your success now. Because the 10 of Pentacles that you have now and the 8 of Pentacles that you continue to keep doing, the hard work you keep doing, the life that you've long manifested, the family that was not it for you that you left behind, it's all part of where you're going. I haven't really dived into the Queen of Pentacles or the Queen of Cups. They're just sitting here so elegantly and gracefully. And I feel like that's about you. That's about how you want to synergize and become this. For some, it is giving me transition journey from masculine to feminine, but it's also giving me this gorgeous air of the pentacle feminine and the cup feminine. So that's the material world and the emotional world from a feminine standpoint. So that's either you lightening up and becoming that feminine principle and alchemicalizing all of your life into something beautifully fluid and streamlined for the future, or you coming into union and synergy with that vibration through another, through business, through work, through career. There's this effervescent whirlpool, ascended masters rising to be and become one with that life that you have been dreaming of, the life that has held you back. And there's this little bit of fear because now it's actually becoming real and you're talking about it, and the manifestation is more than in gestation phase. Yeah, it's actually becoming. And that's gorgeous because you are going to be out here showing up as that new you, speaking with that new air of excellence that you've long had. And it is going to be a massive transformation. And there may be gossip and noise depending on how it is and what it looks like to the rest of the world. But the rest of the world isn't your concern. Your light has to stay bright. That's all your concern is. So keep doing whatever it takes to keep shining bright and keep using your light source in the way in which you are, and you'll make it through anything in life. Yeah? Stay positive, Taurus. You're doing amazing things and your energy's great. Love and light. I'll be back soon with more.